Alrighty guys, we're back for Boros Mice, and this is a Bloomburrow standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. Got a whole bunch of new mice to go over, like Manifold Mouse. This is a 2-mana 1/2 with Offspring for 2. So you may pay an additional 2 as you cast a spell. If you do, when this creature enters, create a 1/1 copy of it. Cool. Now at the beginning of combat on your turn, target mouse you control gains your choice of double strike or trample until end of turn. Would be an excellent way to go ahead and activate these Valiant abilities. So like Heartfire Hero, for example, it's a 1-mana, 1/1 mouse soldier with Valiant. Whenever Heartfire Hero becomes the target of a spell or ability you control, for the first time each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Cool. Now, when Heartfire Hero dies, it deals damage equal to his power to each opponent. Beautiful stuff, man. We do have other Valiant mice packed into the list, like this 1-mana 1/2 Flowerfoot Swordmaster. It also has Offspring for 2. And Valiant. Whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, mice you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Now that seems pretty darn good, dude. We do have other cards that work well with mice, like Might of the Meek. This is a 1-mana instant speed, draw a card. But also, target creature gains trample until end of turn. It also gets +1/+0 until end of turn if you control a mouse, which is always in here, right? All the creatures are mice. Let me double check. 26 creatures, 26 mouse. Okay. All right, we might as well finish going over the 1-drops, huh? So we got all 4 Monstrous Rage, of course, working well with all the Valiant creatures. And then we have all 4 Cheeky House Mouse. Let's go. And it actually fits so well in here. So they 1-mana 2/1, beautiful stuff. But it also has that Adventure Side Squeak by. So target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater this turn as well. That's not half bad at all. So more powerful mice packed in. We have all 4 Emberheart Challengers. This is a 2-mana 2/2 haste, prowess, and valiant. So when it becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. Beautiful stuff. We also have a couple Blazing Crescendo with that similar effect. Exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. And of course, the target creature gets +3/+1. It's going to fit with the mice here beautifully. For our choice spot removal, we're actually opting for Soul Partition because I think that the game will not last that long. They're just exiling target non-land permanent and then hopefully ending the game before the opponent gets a chance to actually play it again, right? Wrap up the game before they play their Sheoldred back down for 6 mana. That's the whole point of the Soul Partition being in here. But then also, you could technically target your own cards and then you don't have to pay the tax for the Soul Partition. It specifically reads spells cast by an opponent. This way costs 2 more to cast. But that's all besides the point. What other mice do we got packed in? Mabel, heir to a Cragflame? Sure. This is a 3-mana, 3/3 legendary creature, mouse soldier. It's legendary, but we still got all 4 of them packed in because other mice you control get +1/+1. Beautiful. Now, when Mabel enters, create Cragflame, a legendary colorless equipment artifact token with equipped creature gets +1/+1 and vigilance and trample and haste. And the equip cost is 2. So the equip cost for 2 is pretty steep, but I'll tell you what, vigilance, trample, haste, and +1/+1, that's actually not half bad. Now the top end, we got a couple of Whiskervale Forerunners, 4-mana 3/4 with Valiant. When it becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with mana value 3 or less from among them. Put it onto the battlefield if it's your turn, and if you don't put it onto the battlefield, put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Pretty cool. I like it. Okay, the mana base. We got the fast lands with the Vantage. Got a couple Battlefield Forge. Got a couple Restless Bivouac. Of course, we got a couple Cavern of Souls calling raccoons. No, mouse. And we also have 8 mountains and 4 plains, leaning towards the red because that's what the deck is heavily leaning towards, and a whole bunch of honorable mentions over here as well. The Valley Quest Caller actually is a rabbit, but it does actually buff mice too, so that's something to consider. Raging Battle Mouse was a card that I thought about for here. 3 Blind Mice also is a pretty neat one to consider for mice, right? Patchwork Banner, something to consider. Roaming Throne almost made the cut, but I definitely just wanted to play with more new cards and more actual mice too. But Roaming Throne could be pretty cool, right? And then I'm not really sure. Like I've been playing around with these and trying to figure out exactly where they belong. And this might have been a pretty good list to try out this Lupin Flower Village as well as this Rock Face Village too. Something to consider, honorable mention for a good reason. And 3 Tree City did not make the cut this time because I don't know how often we're actually going to be generating extra mana with this in this particular build. But hey, honorable mention for a reason, I suppose. Okay, guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video. Sometimes I fail. Either way, look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked and see how we do. Right into that first game, guys. A lot of people playing Magic the Gathering right now, which is awesome. For me, it's getting relatively late at night. This is a lot of mana. How much mana do I have packed in? I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna try it because I don't mind the hand, and I feel like we have a low chance of seeing more mana off the top. Holy cow, dude. We might be in trouble. We might be in a lot of trouble here. Oh no. We might save up the Swordmaster for Offspring. So 3-drop in other words. Oh. It's more mana, guys. Alright, well I'm pretty sure they don't block here, but we'll see if we can get a combat trick. I'm pretty sure they just let this go through. And we'll still drop the Monstrous Rage, but it would have been pretty cool to actually take out that Mentor over there. 5 damage is pretty good, though. Yeah, this is a flood, for sure. Which means we probably should have mulliganed, but we didn't. So here we are. What did they call? Dinosaur. On the Cavern of Souls. Uh-oh. Get down, Heartfire Hero. No! 3 to their face. Not bad, not bad. Down to 11. Unfortunately. Oh, it's more mana. Oh, no. Oh, no, guys. That's really bad. Hey, you never know. We could still get there. We totally could. We'll see, we'll see. I mean, more mana off the top. At that point, I'd have to go check the deck list to make sure that I didn't do something insane with the mana base, right? Ooh, Stable Master. Oh, okay, hold up. Okay. So, a bunch of ramping creatures ramping into top-end dinos is very likely what's going on here. Alright, let's get that plains down, and the Emberheart Challenger is actually not half bad. It's just too bad that we don't have more stuff in hand to target our creatures. So, Restless Bivouac targets, right, with its ability. So that'll be pretty good. We still have a relatively decent swing, especially if, well, they trade into Bivouac, though. Is that worthwhile? We should probably just buff the Bivouac. They double block then. Well, we're already here, and we're already in trouble with the flood, so we might as well just go for it then, huh? So we buff the Swordmaster, which buffs the other Swordmaster as well. So all the mice... And let's see their blocks, huh? We still have Challenger in hand. Losing the Bivouac isn't too bad. they do not accept that trade as they want to ramp into something here. That was a great swing for us, guys. Let's see what they end up ramping into. Fabled Passage, nice. They have 7 available, so Itali is ready. Vaultborn Tyrant is ready. What else at 7? For dinos. Oh, Smuggler's Surprise for 6. Dude, they could... Oh, Terror of the Peaks, Trumpeting Connoisseur. They're going to go ahead and pop both of our creatures here. Oh, no, one of our creatures with the 7 from the Terror. No, both of the creatures. No, one of the creatures. I'm back and forth. My mind was telling me for a second that Scoundrel was a 2/2 for some reason, but no, we're safe. We're fine. They go ahead, poke 1 to our face then instead. They go for the swing as they're feeling pretty safe behind their big creatures now. So that comes down. So Bivouac, power up. We don't have a play after the fact. 2 creatures they block easily. So unfortunately, guys, we're very likely dead next turn. That's not going to stop me from playing out and setting up these mice. Yeah, if we were able to power up Bivouac and play the Challenger on the same turn, I think we would have had a chance to get a little bit of extra damage through. Maybe like 3 damage through this turn. But we went relatively wide on the ground, and honestly, for how bad the flood was, I think we did all right overall. Another Mentor. 2 damage to... They probably just want to go face and full swing here, right? Because they got 5 in the air. They have a Trampling Connoisseur. Now they do go ahead take out the Challenger. So Stable Master, Red Source on Forest. They actually have another Mentor. Again, they can go ahead and take out another creature if they want. I can only imagine a full swing here. 5 in the air. Their Mentor over here is a 4/4. Okay, so do we have a chance? Do we? They're at 3. They still have these 2 creatures here. We only have lands in hand. So we chump the 4/4, and we block here, and we take 12 down to 1. And I guess, I don't know what we could see, but I guess we could see something. Hey, Mabel. Cool. We actually have the 2 as well, which is actually kind of insane, dude. Dude, let's play this out. Yeah. Yeah, let's completely play this out. Other mice you control. So we can give Mabel haste with the Cragflame. Actually awesome. We can't power up Bivouac. We're actually 1 short there. If this was a 2 mana with haste, maybe actually that would have been really good. So we'll give the haste to the Mabel, and we'll still get that full swing, but they still have the 2 creatures. So still a really fun final swing from us, actually. Guys, after this flood, I kind of want to, I want to check just to make sure that we don't have too much mana in here. The opponent goes down to 1 with this 1 Restless Bivouac open. Dude, I think we had a great chance actually this game. Yeah. I'll try to do the, also good game opponent, by the way. I'll try to mulligan a little bit more if we see too much mana. But guys, real quick, I have to check. Like, that was just so much land. Until it wasn't, though, of course, right? Like, then there wasn't that much land after the fact. Okay, 22. 22 mana. I'd say we might consider 21 by the end of the video, depending on what ends up happening here. There's going to be a lot of turns where you're going to want to do a lot on the same turn. So hitting your third and hitting your fourth is actually just going to be pretty darn good. So 22 makes sense to me. Well, our entire top end is in our hand, guys. So opponent goes first. Well, I should mulligan. I definitely should. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm going to keep this and actually send one of the Mabels, because now I'm concerned that I'm not going to see the mana when I need it. And I hope that's okay, because sending a mountain would technically be the better choice. But I feel like we might have an opposite of what happened in the last game. Oh no. Oh no, not the mana. Okay. We might go turn 2 Flowerfoot just to make sure Mabel buffs a wide board state. Vine Lasher. Oh. Soul Partition, not bad. We don't have a swing into the Vine Lasher, unfortunately. Soul Partition could come down for the turn. Well, like, is that good though? No, not really. We'll just save Soul Partition as a tempo play for their turn 3 then, right? I don't want to play the 1-mana Swordmaster unless I really had to. So they poke us for 1. Alright. I hope they swing with the Vine Lasher. No, they don't actually. Alright, let's go ahead. Tempo out the Nissa. Emberheart Challenger. Beautiful. That's good, man. That's pretty good. I think it's just going to be the Mabel for the turn. So that way we actually have a swing for the turn, though, too. We could go wide with the mice, but I'm really considering the offspring again on the Swordmaster, since it kind of feels like we have an uphill battle ahead of us. But yeah, if we just see more and more mice, or for that matter, things that actually buff our mice too, then we might be sitting pretty. Manifold Mouse, see, that's not bad at all. It really isn't. With 4 open. Yeah, I'm going to go for the offspring, dude. Call me crazy. Let's do this. We're going to go double strike onto each of these, I think. That gets a counter. So double strike, double strike. That's pretty sick, dude. They do go for the block on one of them, and we get 6 through on the Mabel. Guys, board wipe would be awful. They do find their 5th mana. Oh no. Oh, it wasn't a perfect board wipe, but it was close. Sacrifice creature with the highest power. So of course the Heartfire Hero is the sacrifice. Mabel surviving the turn is huge for us, dude. Holy cow. Right, so Emberheart Challenger. And now I think I'm just gonna equip the Heartflame, or the Cragflame. I don't know where I want to equip it. Maybe onto the Mabel? I guess that's fine. 7 coming through. Getting the opponent down to 2, and we're not safe, dude. We're definitely not. That's anyone's game still. What is this? Mill 4 cards, return all lands from your graveyard. Cool the battlefield tapped. And luckily, all we gotta do, we can actually do this, like this, and we still have 2 open. Got a nice full swing here then. GG opponent. For a second, I thought they were going to let us play it out and get a fun swing, but yeah, no, then we swap the haste over here, and technically, since they were tapped out, all we had to do is swing on the ground, but I mean, can you blame me for trying to have the full swing? Yeah, maybe. All right, guys, let's keep the ball rolling. I'm greatly concerned with my drawing right now and the opening hands, but I think we'll be okay overall. I think the curve of the list looks good to me, so. That's a mulligan. Yeah, no white source. Oh, no. Okay, yep. Let's do it. All right, let's keep that and send a Mabel again. This is like, do I learn from my past mistakes? Like, we're probably going to see mana right there on top. Double Mabel, of course, could be good because of how much removal's packed into everyone's list. Yeah, I'm thinking we just keep this. And oh, it is mana on top too. That's actually pretty funny. Now we could get the cheeky house mouse down without taking damage, though. However, I think the Heartfire Duelist is much, much better for the turn. Taking that damage, totally worth it. Holy cow, guys. Lethal Demolition is not what I was expecting after seeing the Market Gnome, but that makes a lot of sense. Or 3 or greater. Yeah, we could, double block wouldn't be terrible there. Plus we'll get a cheeky house mouse down too, so. Alright, let's do this. Oh, instead of playing the cheeky house mouse, we probably should have played the Bivouac. Yeah, they probably just chump here. It is definitely worthwhile. No, they take the 3, actually. Alright, cheeky house mouse. I was going to say, we probably should have just played Bivouacs. That way, next turn, if we don't see an untapped source, we could still get the Mabel down. But the cheeky house mouse for the turn's fine. We do see an untapped source, though, which is actually really good. But now we could do a similar thing as last turn. They have a little bit better blocks, though. Actually, I like that. So now we do go for the Restless Bivouac for the turn. We'll do the exact same thing that we did last turn. Because it's an extra counter here, too. I think they're actually going to chump this time, right? And a trade into the cheeky house mouse isn't worth it right now because we're about to buff it with the Mabel. And we might need an emergency chump blocker next turn. They do just take the 4. Down to 17, the pain land is starting to hurt. Guys, 22 mana feeling like 25 today, huh? I don't know if we want to go down to 21, though. Another Evangelist. Oh, dear. They pass it back. They're getting ready to set up, and it's mana off the top, guys. Oh, no. That's really bad. Well, we'll get the other Bivouac down and consider a mid-video revamp to go down to 21 mana just to try to find more. But at the same time, it is only 22, so. All right, so we could easily die next turn. I'm going for the Swing Deed. Even if we keep stuff back, there's no guarantee of survival, as then they're forcing blocks somewhere. Let's see that Imodane's Recruiter. It is going to be that Imodane's Recruiter, and that is a GG's. So if we saved 3 blockers back, we're at 17, 1, 2, 3. They still would have had 20 coming through. Worth the swing, dude, right? Worth the swing. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Now, if we were banking on them not having Recruiter in hand, then maybe it wouldn't have been worth the swing because there would have been a decent chance of survival then. All right. Uphill battles, huh? Let's keep the ball rolling. I'm actually going to opt to not do the mid-video revamp because I'm still convinced 22 is where we want it. And we might say differently at the end of the video then in the final thoughts. Guys, while I have you here in the middle of the video, make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. The Patreon really does go the extra mile, so thank you to all my beautiful patrons. And also, guys, trying to do more of the YouTube stuff. If you like the video, make sure you drop it a like. And if you like the channel, make sure you drop it a subscribe. We're getting very, very close to 4,000, which is awesome. Oh, no, guys. Oh, no. The hands. Okay, we should mulligan. We should mulligan. What is happening? Okay, this is better, and we send a land for sure. That's what we've learned today. Okay, yeah, the hands have been really, really bad. But overall, at least after the mulligan, we're definitely seeing like much better hands after the mulligan. So we keep the 6, and we will send the... I think we want more red sources usually, so I'll send the plains. It doesn't matter too much with this hand. We're actually curving out quite nicely here. Okay, and it's actually going to be more mana from the top too, guys. This is actually concerning. Maybe, even though I said I wasn't going to do the mid-video revamp, maybe I should reconsider. We're going to go for the Challenger for the turn, because there is a chance that we see a 3-drop next turn and actually want to do the Offspring thing with the Manifold Mouse. Challenger not going to make it out of turn 2 here. Swinging with that Swordmaster. If we drop a mana, what do we go up? Going for the Slickshot Show-Off, just straight up playing it too for the extra damage. Monstrous Rage. Okay, nice. We can successfully... I mean, we might as well just play the Mountain, though, honestly. Manifold Mouse we should probably do as well. We do have the 4 mana for it next turn, but Slickshot Show-Off coming down, losing our Challenger. We're probably in danger, right? So we actually Swordmaster, double strike, swing, Monstrous Rage. We do have 4 Monstrous Rage packed in here, guys, and we are seeing it. How many games have we played so far? This is our 2nd time seeing Monstrous Rage today, I think. Bringing the opponent down to 7, it doesn't mean too much, guys. This is anyone's game easily, as we have nothing else in hand and we are top decking. And we have a lot of really good things that we could top deck. And if we get to keep these creatures around, then those things become even more deadly. But I don't think we're going to get to keep these creatures around, especially with that turn 1 shock. And Slickshot Show-Off just telling me that they definitely have more burn packed in, lightning strike, all that, right? Probably a 4 of. And there might actually be a lot that we could see off the top too, that if the opponent's not cautious, we might just be able to win next turn. As these mice should know how to be quite explosive. Emberheart Challenger of their own, and they are going for the swing. We're just going to take the 3, guys. Might of the Meek. There we go. All right. Put that on the Swordmaster, draw a card, see what we see. But it doesn't really matter. It's actually going to be more mana too. So we'll go ahead and give that double strike at full swing. So luckily, even if they kept blockers back, the double strike on the Swordmaster was going to get us there, because it had double strike trample from the Monstrous Rage. Guys, really, really bad draws, but can we complain that much since we got there? I mean, we saw the Might of the Meek, which technically wasn't a bad draw, but everything else was a bad draw. How do we still see 5 mana? Guys, I don't even know anymore. Maybe I just don't even know how to play Magic. That's always a possibility, I suppose. Let's go ahead. Let's try to get one more like good match in here. And if it's really, really fast, maybe we'll go in for another one after that too. And then see how the mana goes, huh? 3 in the opener. All the colors we need. Lots of mice. This is it. This is the one. We can keep this successfully and be happy about it. Hello, opponent. We don't get many hellos. So we always make sure to drop the hello in return. Heartfire Hero, do you survive the turn against Amir? You sure do, buddy. Challenger off the top is pretty darn good, actually. But we're actually just going to take the turn. And, well, never mind. Never mind. We are going to go for the Challenger because we call Mouse on this, and now they can't counter it. It would have to be generic spot removal, which would probably be all right here. And we're going to save the Manifold Mouse because there is a chance that we end up doing the Offspring on this. Yeah, so they couldn't counter it because of Cavern. We actually get that damage through too, which is pretty huge for us. They do have a deduce though. Trades out, gets a clue. GG opponent. Wow. If they missed their third mana, I could definitely see the concede. If the rest of their hand was counter spells, I could definitely see the concede, right? Because of the Cavern of Souls. Our hand was beautiful. That's what I'm talking about, huh? I like it. Let's do that again. Like, we could say we could end on a high note, but I think we can still end on a high note if we go for another match too. So let's do it. We're also finding these games really fast too, so. All right. What you bringing to the table, opponent? Some mushrooms? Some fungi? Or like a plant build, right? Like guessing based on the avatar. I think this is an alright hand. It's definitely worse than the last one, but gotta be real with you guys. If it looks okay, we should probably keep it because of how it's been drawing today. And this looks alright. So. Oh. Interesting. Oh, Cavern as well. Wow. Alright. Yeah, the 22 mana feels like 25 in this build for some reason, which might be just a big indicator this whole video that we really need to drop down to 21, but I'm still convinced that there's going to be so many turns where we're going to want to do a lot. Oh, Manifold Mouse. Mirror match, guys, except they have this fun little lost GTA card. Oh, Monstrous Rage. Alright, we'll do the same thing. The double Monstrous Rage isn't bad. With them going first, I'd say they definitely have a bit of an advantage, but it really depends what else they have in hand, too. Their hand isn't that great, but at the same time, their hand might be worse. Right? These like the double Monstrous Rage with a card that gives double strike is actually disgusting. So. Double strike. They go for the swing. They're going to get that through, and unfortunately, they're going to get that ability on this. But we cannot lose this Manifold Mouse, right? Oh, they got their own Monstrous Rage. Anything else? Still got 1 mana. Oh, with the double strike? That's actually really gross. Oh. Plug a counter onto it, too? Oh, dude, we're in trouble. We're in a lot of trouble, man. That was a really good turn 3. Monstrous Rage, number 3. I mean, we're probably dead next turn, but it's like triple down on Monstrous Rage for the turn. How much damage would that be? Hold up, opponent. I am thinking, buddy. Let me math this through. So the first one gives +3, and then the other ones just give +2 after that. So +7. The Manifold Mouse would be 8, and then double strike, they'd go down to 4. And we'll probably die next turn. Let's be real, we're probably going to die next turn anyways, because this still has trample. They could drop like a 4th mana and just really pop off. Let's do the fun thing. Let's do it. Alright, double strike. Uh-oh, it's sticking actually. Hopefully that's not like a shock. Right? Swing. Monstrous Rage. I guess the Monstrous Rage would go on the stack of the shock anyways, which would... And Monstrous Rage. If the roll tokens didn't substitute out, well, I mean, obviously Monstrous Rage would be even more disgusting. But that would also be game, too. If the, but the roll tokens do, unfortunately, substitute out. So opponent down to 4. Let's see it, opponent. Let's see it, buddy. Get the good game ready. Monstrous Rage, and it was that easy. Neat little mirror match here, and the opponent may have... Good game. May have shown us the card that we could substitute one land out and one card in, right? This Lost Jite as a one of, potentially. Could be really neat, but I don't know if it's necessarily... Like, there might be other cards that we want to consider over that, actually. So with 4 mana in this last game, too, which is actually really surprising to me, I think we're going to want to go down to 21 land, unfortunately. That's just based off of the games that we had today. Really back and forth on that matter, honestly, but Boros Mice had kind of a rough time today, huh? Here's the deck list again, guys. Got to apply the styles because there's still that bug. Monstrous Rage, Might of the Meek. Having 8 of these abilities sure didn't feel like it. Plus Blazing Crescendo too. So 10 cards in the list that target like that. That's one thing, right? But also like Manifold Mouse, once it's down, it also helps target those Valiant things as well. So that's like another 4 that happens to be a mouse too. The double Soul Partition, the Soul Partition was fine. We actually had some pretty good tempo with it. I would keep those for sure. This Whiskervale Forerunner, we had to like mulligan the one time we saw it. As a 2 of on the top end, I think it could still potentially be worthwhile. Would a Roaming Throne be a little bit better, especially with like the ward and stuff? I think so. And the Roaming Throne does work with the Valiant abilities, right? Because these are triggered abilities. How do you spell throne? Throne. Yes. Triggered ability of another creature you control of the chosen type. So that should work with the Valiant, right? I guess technically I didn't really get a chance to try it out, but Throne is probably a little bit better than the Forerunner, but I'm not going to drop the Forerunner. We didn't get to see it today, and obviously I just wanted to play with more mice too, so I'm going to keep it, but it's definitely something to consider for you guys, especially if you don't have this Whiskervale Forerunner. You don't have to craft it, man, and you got a couple thrones, throw those in instead. And then you can test if it works with the Valiant and let me know in the comments, right? No, it should work, right? Because they're triggered abilities, so I'm just like second guessing myself for some reason. The Mabel, I actually still like the 4 of, and we got to see it when we wanted to see it, but the 3 mana felt a little steep sometimes for some reason. Yeah, steep. We flooded pretty bad today, guys, and that's a shame. The Restless Bivouac is actually pretty good in here as a 2 of, I would say. This is the type of deck where you're like, please, opponent, do not wipe the board. And that's the type of decks where Restless Bivouac really comes in handy. And so the double Bivouacs work, and it also is another way to target for your Valiant cards as well. So, guys, I really, I don't know what we're dropping here at all. Cavern of Souls could stand to be 3 of in here, right? Well, but I think the 2's fine too, because this is still a lot of cards. This is 12 cards that can't be cast off the Cavern of Souls, and there's going to be a lot of moments where you need to double down on a Monstrous Rage or a Might of the Meek and Monstrous Rage on the same turn as well. I'm still going to keep the 2 of. 2 of. Vantage is the main dual land to have in here. Guys, I don't know what to drop, man. With 22 mana, I just felt so... It felt like so much mana. Hold on, let me... Like, the last opponent really inspired me here. This Lost Jite. Can you go target creature can't block this turn? Target one of your Valiant creatures? Is that how that would work? Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage, put a charge counter on Lost Jite. Remove a charge counter from Lost Jite. You get to choose one of these on tap target land. Target creature can't block this turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on equipped creature. See that bottom ability with the +1/+1 counter, it doesn't say like target creature, right? So I don't believe that would work with the Valiant. But the middle ability, target creature can't block. Kind of feel like that would, right? I think that makes sense. That's pretty cool. But I'm actually not going to trade that in, because I feel like there's something else that we need here. More reliable removal, maybe? More ways to target our things that isn't equipment? More explosive things, perhaps? Something else similar to a Crescendo. Hold up. I know it. I know what it can be. Okay, it's not like the greatest card in the world. Okay, Ancestors and Ancestors Aid. Okay, 3 mana, instant speed. You get to create a treasure token when you get it, and it's an untapped treasure token too. So target creature gets +2/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. First strike is actually pretty huge, but the biggest thing on this card is actually the treasure. Why? Because I'm so like I can't decide if 22 mana is good, if we want to drop to 21 or not. This is the way to do it, right? We drop to 21, but then we still have like the card that's coming in is a way to actually ramp us up a little bit with that treasure token. And then honestly, guys, when I play with Ancestors Aid, I'm always pleasantly surprised. And in a deck like this that could be actually really explosive, going Ancestors Aid onto a card, getting the treasure token, spending the treasure token on a Might of the Meek or a Monstrous Rage is actually really good. So I also like that here at the end too, we're just trading in a common card rather than like a mythic or something too. So it's like an easy trade in. And then if you guys don't like it, just trade it right back out and try something else. So now it comes down to what land do we actually want to get rid of here? At nearly 70% red and 40% white. There we go. 7-4. Right? Looks fine to me. Cool. Okay, easy peasy. So we went down to 21. Even though this whole video I was like, no, I'm keeping it at 22, darn it. No. I think 21 is going to be a little better, make it a little bit more consistent. And then just trading in something like this. I think Ancestors Aid, I think it's going to be pretty good in here, actually. Yeah, I like that. Was I looking at that Blazing Crescendo like, do I want to drop these for more Ancestors Aid? Yes, I was, but no, that's probably not a good idea. But I guess you never know. Sometimes it kind of depends where the meta settles too, right? Like if there happens to be a lot of things where first strike actually comes in handy more than an extra 3 or an extra card, then I guess you never know. I'll tell you what, man, these Offspring cards are really sick. And this is like another reason why it's a really hard decision to drop down to 21 instead of the 22. Because every now and then you're going to actually spend 3 mana for double Swordmaster on the board. And it's a similar concept here too. Manifold Mouse. Every now and then you're going to want to spend 4 mana on double Manifold Mouse. I brought this up in the last video, I think, too, but it's so adorable that the Offspring has their own little tokens. They're so freaking cute, man. Ah, adorable. Okay. Guys, enough rambling, huh? Speaking of red mice, what do you guys think of the channel, the red rat artwork? Let me know in the comments. I've been bringing that up every video, or trying to at the very least. Yeah. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the build as well, of course. And hey, made it this far into the video. Y'all are champions for real. Enough rambling, huh? I will see you in the next video.